Ubuntu Sway Remix 26.04 LTS, the perfect tiling desktop for productivity and simplicity. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most exciting community-driven Linux distributions of 2026, Ubuntu Sway Remix 26.04 LTS. Codenamed after the parent Ubuntu 26.04 Resolute Raccoon release. If you are tired of bloated desktops, mouse-heavy workflows, or just want a clean, keyboard-driven environment that feels fast and modern, this could be exactly what you have been looking for. So first, what exactly is Ubuntu Sway Remix? Ubuntu Sway Remix is an unofficial remix of Ubuntu built around Sway, a popular i3 compatible tiling window compositor. It takes the rock-solid foundation of Ubuntu 26.04 LTS and replaces the default GNOME desktop with a carefully configured Sway environment. Unlike a plain Ubuntu installation, where you manually install Sway, this remix comes ready to use out of the box with sensible defaults, useful applications, and thoughtful customizations that make the transition smooth, even for beginners curious about tiling window managers. So, why choose a tiling window manager like Sway? Traditional desktops arrange windows freely on the screen. Sway, on the other hand, uses tiling. Windows automatically snap into organized layouts, like split horizontally, vertically, or stacked, without overlap. This approach offers several advantages, like maximum screen real estate, no wasted space on title bar or gaps unless you want them, keyboard-centric workflow. Once you learn a few shortcuts, navigation becomes lightning fast. It's excellent for multitasking. Developers, writers, system administrators, and power users often report huge productivity gains. And modern and efficient. Sway runs on Wayland, which means better security, smoother performance, and proper HiDPI support compared to older X11 based options. Sway is essentially the Wayland successor to the legendary i3 window manager. So if you loved i3, you will feel right at home. Now let's talk about the key features of Ubuntu Sway Remix 26.04 LTS. Here is what makes this release stand out. First, the solid Ubuntu LTS base. You get 5 years of security updates and the excellent hardware support Ubuntu is known for, including the Linux 7.0 kernel. Number 2. No snaps by default. The remix removes canonical snap packages in favor of traditional deb packages for a cleaner, faster experience. Number 3. Pre-configured Sway. It includes useful key bindings, a status bar like Waybar, and useful scripts for everyday tasks. Number 4. Balanced software selection. You'll find popular terminal tools alongside GUI apps like Firefox, Thunar File Manager, replacing older options in recent updates, LibreOffice, and more. Number 5. Calamares installer. A modern, user-friendly installer that makes setup straightforward. Number 6. Lightweight and performant. Ideal for older hardware, laptops, or anyone who values efficiency. Number 7. Raspberry Pi support. There is even a dedicated edition for single board computers. as of its stable release on May 25th, 2026. It builds directly on Ubuntu 26.04's improvements in security, Wayland maturity, and hardware compatibility. So, who is this distribution for? It's perfect for Linux enthusiasts wanting to try tiling without the hassle of manual configuration. It's also perfect for developers and programmers who live in the terminal. It's perfect for users seeking a minimal yet polished desktop, and also for people frustrated with resource heavy desktops like GNOME or KDE Plasma. And maybe it's not ideal if you rely on heavily on specific GNOME extensions or prefer a traditional point and click interface. You need bleeding edge software, though you can always add PPAs or Flatpaks. So, how does it compare to regular Ubuntu? Regular Ubuntu 26.04 ships with the GNOME 50. Ubuntu Sway gives you the same reliable base and repositories, but with a completely different desktop paradigm. It's lighter on resources and feels more responsive for many users once the keyboard shortcuts become muscle memory. Now, about the getting started part. You can download the latest ISO from the official Ubuntu Sway website or mirrors. Installation is straightforward thanks to the Calamares installer. After booting into Sway, take some time to explore the configuration file, which is config:/sway:/config. It's well commented and easy to tweak. The community around Sway is incredibly helpful, and the Ubuntu Sway team maintains good documentation on their GitHub and website. Now, final thoughts. Ubuntu Sway Remix 26.04 LTS proves that you don't need to leave the Ubuntu ecosystem to enjoy a modern, efficient tiling desktop. It combines Ubuntu's stability and hardware support with Sway's elegance and speed. Whether you're a long-time i3 user moving to Wayland or a newcomer curious about the keyboard-driven workflows, this remix lowers the barrier significantly. So, have you tried Ubuntu Sway or any tiling window manager before? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about your setup and favorite key bindings. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future Linux content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.